Good afternoon, Trinidad and Tobago. I'm Karen Cozier Phillips. C News is live at noon.
And I'm Rachael Ramkissoon with your sports report.
Topping the news at this time, well, there were 5 murders within a 12-hour period, taking the murder toll to 26 for the year. In one incident, there was a double murder in Guapo. Reports say Ricky Mohammed and his 29-year-old common-law wife, Luenda Anthony, were reportedly shot in their heads while in their bed at Limefield Road, Cochrane Village, Guapo, just after midnight. Reports say relatives who live close by rushed over when they heard explosions. The police were contacted. Both Mohammed and Anthony died while being taken to hospital. Now, there was also a murder in Aruca last night. The victim has been identified as Floyd Williams. C News understands he was at his home when the incident occurred. His sister told police she heard an explosion. Her brother screamed, followed by another explosion. She said that she then found her brother bleeding on the ground. Also, 22-year-old Rachael Ramkissoon was killed shortly after 9 o'clock last night at Bellevue Long Circular. Reports say he had been incarcerated several times before. He lived at St. Francois Valley Road, Belmont. And there was a murder in Enterprise, Shogunas yesterday afternoon. The victim was identified as 18-year-old Nicholas Simon. Reports say the victim was shot and killed at around 5:50 near Africa Grounds Enterprise. To other news now, Dale Seecharan, the man charged with the murder of Shannon Banfield, will reappear at the Port of Spain 8th Magistrates Court on January 30th. Chief Magistrate Marcia Caesar was absent from the court, and another magistrate came across to adjourn all the matters in the 8th Court. The body of the 20-year-old bank worker was found in the IEM building on Charlotte Street, Port of Spain, on December 8, 2016. She had gone missing on December 5th. An autopsy revealed she was smothered. On December 20th, Seecharan appeared before Chief Magistrate Marcia Caesar at the Port of Spain Magistrates 8th Court. He was ordered to reappear today, January 17th. The Center for Human Development says the country should heed the call by Rachael Ramkissoon's grandmother for people to stop saying negative things about her granddaughter, as well as posting her images on social media sites. 16-year-old Ramkissoon was found dead last Friday in a forested area of Balata Trace in San Rafael. An autopsy conducted on Monday revealed that the teenager was strangled.
With the sensationalization of crime, with the need to sell, with the need to be famous and popular, people say and do things that just seem to continue to breed a sense of trauma. And I could feel the pain of that grandmother, as you have explained it. With the hands, you can see the anxiety and the depression. People don't understand how pervasive trauma can be on a person. Trauma has the ability to alter one's life.
He said it is one way to help all those affected with dealing with the trauma.
The family is grieving, and they try to come to terms with what is considered to be traumatic, sudden, and devastating. But if every single day you are met with constant barrage of negativity, of the constant pictures being posted, you are constantly reliving this trauma. And of course, you have people who have no information, creating their own information and posting that information. And unfortunately, once it is posted, it becomes truth.
To other news now, advocacy group Fixing TNT has written a letter to Prime Minister Dr. Keith Rowley, again calling for Dr. Rolf Balgobin to be removed as chairman of Angostura Holdings and any other government-appointed positions, pending the outcome of investigations into the allegations of sexual misconduct against him. The letter said sexual harassment of women is pervasive in the workplace throughout the country, but most suffer this indignity quietly because of fear of reprisal and victimization. It said to date the handling of this matter has been unfortunate. The letter went on to say decisive action was taken by Dr. Rowley's predecessor when allegations such as these were made against government ministers. It said it is not too late to remove Dr. Balgobin. Angostura workers will continue their protest to have Mr. Balgobin fired from his position. In a statement, the National Trade Union Center said the workplace must be a safe environment where all workers can perform their duties without fear of being harassed. It called on all women who have been denied the right to be heard to use this opportunity to come out and participate in the protest march. The protest will take place tomorrow at the House of Angostura, Eastern Main Road, Laventille. You're watching the CNews Live report at noon. Remember, you can keep up to date with all the latest news on our website at ctvtt.com, or you can check out our Facebook and Twitter pages at CNews Live. The Movement for Social Justice says it is confident Petrotrin's oil production can improve. This from the movement's leader, David Abdullah, as he spoke on the 5% salary increase to the company's workers and the payment of their back pay. Now, according to Mr. Abdullah, an exercise was undertaken in 2010 by then Minister of Energy Caroline Sipasad Bechan to improve productivity at the company, and it did work.
When the Minister of Energy was Caroline Sipasad Bechan way back in 2010, early 2011, and the union, the Ministry of Energy and the company sat down and came up with ideas and projects to increase production, and production actually went up by several thousand barrels of oil a day within a short period of time.
Mr. Abdullah also said despite Petrotrin operating with a deficit budget, only good can come from the recent developments at the state-owned company.
Petrotrin produces itself the less oil it has to acquire from abroad, and therefore there will be a saving of foreign exchange in that regard. And so the increased oil production can only redound to the benefit of Petrotrin. Now, that Hussein talked about the strike would have caused us to devalue. The fact of the matter that the strike settlement actually enabled Petrotrin to continue to export refined products and therefore continue to earn foreign exchange for the country.
Now here's a look at the weather forecast.
Showers and cloudiness across Guyana will begin to break into Trinidad and Tobago as a low-level trough moves slowly towards the west, bringing the added moisture. We'll likely see a couple of the showers, some of them occasionally heavy, especially down towards southern areas of Trinidad. Otherwise, it will be cloudy at times with a scattering of showers across the northern range and into Tobago through the afternoon. It will feel pleasant today, no higher than 31 degrees Celsius. For mariners heading out, continue to see choppy to rough seas of 2.5 to possibly 3 meters out in the Atlantic, with northeasterly winds fresh at 15 to 20 knots, bringing some whitecaps and sea spray, and northeasterly swells of 10 seconds. Tide is low at 1:30 p.m., then high at 7:30 p.m. That is the latest weather, and I am meteorologist Ian Wallace.
Switching to some Carnival news now. For Carnival Monday 2017, one mass band will be giving all its proceeds to the Cerebral Palsy Society of Trinidad and Tobago. This, as it says, more has to be done to help those who need it. We International Mass Band, through its Play Mass with a Purpose Foundation, has been giving the proceeds made on Carnival Monday to different causes for 6 years. This year, it has chosen cerebral palsy.
This year we did the activism, we took it a step further in terms of being involved with cerebral palsy for the past, I think it's about 4 months. We've been attending all meetings, we've been going to any activism walks or anything that they have. We are present because we believe that the activism should also be present in everything that the foundation does, not just about giving the profits or proceeds that we make on the day of Carnival Monday to the foundation, but we believe that we should be active and, you know, going ahead and get really involved and absorbed in the activism of the particular charity that we are giving back to.
While soca artist Patrice Roberts says her new song, Big Girl Now, is a true story about her journey to where she is today. And she's hopeful it will serve as a motivator to young women. The video for the 2017 soca song was released on New Year's Day.
As I look at the video of myself, it kind of brought back memories of struggles and times I didn't think I would have made it, you know, yeah, from then to now. And I think this video and this song could empower women, you know, to do better and to go through journey and life, you know, and try to overcome them and be a big girl now. That's basically the gist of the video and the song.
She also went into a bit of detail about having her baby. Describing the experience as amazing, she said her life now has become a bit more challenging, but she understands what motherhood is all about.
Because I have to leave her. She's fine, but when I do leave to go on the plane, yeah, it hurts so much. You know, I don't want to leave her side, but being a mother has really opened my eyes to so many things, you know. It makes me appreciate my mom even more, and mothers on a whole, because that pain that you bear for your daughter, your son, is so, I think it's bittersweet at the moment.
And in some chutney news, Lal Chand Babwa, also known as Hunter, has added his voice to the ongoing discussion surrounding the use of Bollywood music to create chutney songs. He said nothing is wrong with it and it's not a new practice.
If you look back maybe 15, 20 years ago, or maybe 30 years ago, bands used to do cover versions of Bollywood music, right? So basically what we did now is that the cover version don't really work anymore again. It just come and it die off like everything else, you know, everything has a space and time, right? So what we did now as an artist in the charity platform, what we did, we just take the Bollywood melody, a sample from it, and we put our own lyrics to it.
Now he told us he will continue to use Bollywood tunes to create his chutney songs. But he was quick to say when he uses those tunes, the royalties are paid to the creator of the melodies, as only his lyrics are registered with the copyright organization.
If you listen to chutney music from way back then to now, if you go to do a traditional chutney, it's the same thing. So we're just trying to change the thing up a little bit to make it a little different. And if it's a problem, I don't know about anybody if it's a problem. I tell you until I get things saying, stop this from the original people them, stop using my thing, I will stop using it.
To other news now, the new Consulat campus will be opened in Shogunas on January 25th. Reports in 2016 said the campus would have been opened in September that year. However, there were some constraints. President of COSTAT, Gillian Paul, maintained the building was completed in record time and under budget, and now she's excited about its opening. She told us a museum of the history of the 15-year-old institution will also be set up.
What it is we do, what it is we have done, and we think we're 15 years moving out of puberty into adulthood. It's really time to tell our story, and 2017 is really going to be about helping the wider public to understand what we have achieved, how many lives we have transformed by being able to bring this model of education into the national educational architecture.
While Perspectives is an independent group exhibition currently taking place at the National Museum and Art Gallery. The exhibitors were part of the visual arts cohort of the Culture Ministry's Mentoring by the Masters program, and it's hoped that it will allow for sustained dialogue on the arts.
So when you talk about perspective, you have these national collections that are existing in a way, but people don't necessarily have the kind of access that they should to it. To me, the National Museum is the most accessible, and then perhaps Central Bank.
Perspectives is a mixed media exhibition of several artists who took part in the Mentoring by the Masters program. They were tutored by Master Ken Critchlow, and the National Museum show features a wide range. Like fashion designer Derek Ogies, he uses sodium alginate, a seaweed paste dye, on his design, even though it's a more complicated process. He spoke about finding inspiration in this environment.
It has a way of bleeding back into where I'm from, to be honest, because I'm a Caribbean person. And like she said, we live on an island, so all I see most of the time is sea, ocean, wind, breeze, fauna, animals, whatever you call it, whatever it is. And it's hard to want to step out of who you believe you are to do something totally different.
He says artists need to change their surroundings. Other times, they need to clear their minds to find their true creative expression. Like Margaret Van Hannigan, who spoke about the feelings she gets when she encounters a truly interesting word.
I wrote a little book about a year and a half, maybe 2 years ago now. The book is called The Most Powerful Obia, Love. I fell in love with that word, obia, because I was thinking, you have Harry Potter, You have all these other things, and they're talking about witchcraft and what's wrong with our obia?
The backlash to that book was awful, but Margaret said it hasn't dampened her love of words. Her poetry lines the walls. It finds space with jewelry of all kinds. Kayomi Surratt sculptures and digital portraits. Dream catchers, landscapes and mandalas. Perspectives has been on since last November. It was supposed to end on January 14th. Because of public interest, it has already been extended until the end of the month. Soini Gray, C News.
Well, Vidya is here with us with news of sports. Vidya, tell us what cat do we have in sports coming up?
Well, coming up, the lady who scored 4 goals at Wembley in a match against England. She is here to take over women's football in Trinidad and Tobago. We'll have more on that coming up in a moment. It's now time for your sports. I'm Vidya Ramkissoon. We start with news that the former Canada coach Carolina Morace has arrived in Trinidad and Tobago to take up her appointment as this country's women's team head coach and technical director of women's football. The former Italian international who arrived with her staff on Monday was appointed on December 7th. An inductee into the Italian Football Hall of Fame, Morace told C Sports she will bring a careful and considerate approach to TNT's revamped women's program.
I think that first of all, as also a coach, I coached before the Canadian national team. What is important is to respect the culture of the country and to be into the country. Now I'm moving here, and I want to go fast in this phase of our experience. And again, I think that the most important thing is to respect the culture.
The Venice-born Morace has wide experience in football management, including an appointment as CEO of the Juventus Academy Roma. On her arrival in Trinidad, she said she had already started work on constructing a team.
This country has very big people. You are very big. In physical standpoint, I think that we can ask a lot of our players. We will start with the player in football test. And from that we will start our job. I'm not a coach that like just to defend. I think that the best defensive phase is to attack, but to do that we have to be organized. I know that we have to do a lot of work, but I know also that football is simple. It's just our job to make simple what we want to teach.
Switching to cricket now, Cane Farm overpowered Demerara Cricket Club to win the UET20 tournament on Sunday at St. Augustine. Evan Lewis and Rashawn Primus were the stars of the show as the Tacarigua club reigned supreme.
Cane Farm has mowed down every team before them in this competition, whether it be batting first or chasing. They had first strike again in the final, and it was clear from the first ball that it was going to be a long night for their opponents. Imran Khan and Evan Lewis opened the batting, but with the form of the latter, the former took a back seat. Lewis particularly brutal in over number 3, with back-to-back pull shots for maximums. The second of which landed somewhere in the university's Student Activities Center. His 50 was fortuitous, but his figures at this stage were anything but. 5 sixes and 5 fours accounting for 50 of his 51 runs from 19 deliveries. So of course Demerara were happy to get him out fishing at one when he was on 90. But solid contributions of 43 from Bajan all-rounder Rashawn Primus, as well as from Dinesh Ramdin at the back end, pushed Cane Farm past 200. 217 for 7 was their final entry. Demerara's reply was hit early on. They lost 3 wickets in quick succession as Cane Farm looked on course. Only someone like Gajanand Singh could revive them from there. And all bets were on the opener, who had scored 4 half-centuries in each of his 4 innings at the tournament before the final. Relying on solid technique and impeccable timing, he would notch another. And when West Indies under-19 player Kimo Paul joined, the mission looked possible. But Paul departed set up nicely by the experienced TNT pair of Khan and Ramdin. And Singh fell soon after for 64 from 39 deliveries. So it was only a matter of time after that before the entire innings folded. Demerara eventually bowled out for 150, defeated by 67 runs. With figures of 4 for 39 and his knock of 43, Primus was man of the match. Singh undoubtedly man of the series. And Cane Farm Sports Club champions of the UE T20 2017.
The Attorney-at-Law Nicole Selvon has become the first woman to be elected president of the Trinidad and Tobago Volleyball Federation. The Maracas St. Joseph native was elected unopposed and replaces Damian Stewart, who decided not to contest the election. Selvon was elected to manage the sport until 2020 after winning the vote of 21 of the 28 clubs at the annual general meeting. Stewart had served for 4 years but faced severe criticism over his stewardship of local volleyball. Dion Hutchinson had initially signaled his intention to contest the post of president, but was ruled out as he is not a member of the executive of the Volleyball Federation. Now, in terms of the TTVF executive, Vaughan Martin, one of the most outspoken critics of the former administration, is first vice president, and of the officers elected, Charisse De Silva is general secretary, while Ivan Nunes has been installed as treasurer. President of Nausicaa, Cristobal Marte, supervised the election. Well, that's what's happening in the world of sport today, Karen.
Thank you, Video. And that's the C News at Noon Report. I'm Karen Kozia-Phillip.
And I'm Video Ramthal.
Remember, for up-to-date and breaking news throughout the day, to visit the C News website at ctvtt.com. Do have a good afternoon.